All right, let's get this thing going. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? So I guess we just gonna dive head first into this millennial universe. Y'all cool with that? It's all good. Connect with me real quick. I promise it's gonna be a fun one. See, I want to talk about this awesome group of humans that are born between the neon lights of 1980 down to the dawn of the digital explosion of 1996. Yeah, us millennials. But we're not just the talk of the town. We're the whole vibe. Shaping the future as we go. No, I'm playing. Real talk, real talk. Are we actually really shaking things up? Or is it just our time to catch some heat? So let's break it down. See, they got us pegged as the all talk, no work crew. But actually, here's the real play. See, we out here blending the hustle with our passion. Our nine to fives is our hustle, and our passion is the brands and the businesses that we're building on our own that's going to sustain us for the future. They also coin us as being disconnected. Nah, fam. See, we're crafting communities that expand the globe, all from the palm of our hand. And this whole living for the gram thing, that ain't it either. See, we're building a world that we can be proud to post about. But let's spin the block real quick. See, our story didn't really start with us. We got the silent generation, the boomers, those Gen Xers. See, they was putting it down long before we hit the scene. See, they had their own battles that they had to deal with, going against the status quo and making a name for their generation. And now, us millennials are just here on the scene, strutting down the street of a path that they paved, and we're just adding our own remix to the mix. But now that I think about it, I'm pretty curious. I got an idea. Let's go out into the street, into the community, and see what other people have to say about this topic. Let's go ahead and interview some millennials and some Gen Xers and some boomers and see not only how they feel about the millennial generation, but how they feel about their own generation. I would love to know more about their coming in age story, things that kind of shape how they view the world. Yeah, let's do that. I'll be back. We'll finish this. I'll be back. Warning, these interviews were done by amateurs. Therefore, the sound quality is ass. I recommend you turn your sound up to high volume. All right, I told you I had a good idea. So I'm out here at Venice Beach, where there's a multitude of people of all walks of life. So this should be a good experiment to ask the people what they feel about the different generations, specifically the millennial generation. As you can see, I come prepared with my Hero Generation Millennial Tee, brought to you by Supreme Designs. Okay. That's the beach. We're gonna get interrupted. Anywho, but let's go ahead and see who we can get. So, name? Brandy, Carl, and it looks like you guys are from Generation X, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right, awesome. I'm a millennial. My name is Jabari. So I'm right behind you guys, but I'm one of the older millennials. I'm in my lower 40s. With the gray, you see the gray fuzzies. All right. So what were some significant events that you guys experienced growing up that kind of changed the way that you view the world?
COVID is a big one. It put me out of work. It was hard times, it was hard times for everybody. It actually took my whole field. I had to go to school to get into a new field and get into a field that I could support my family with that was keeping me gone for a week at a time, And so I wasn't there to be a father presently with my children as they were being raised. It was just mom, So it was devastating. It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah,
it's horrible, But there's so many things, that I look around, even in Washington, the homelessness, from people losing their jobs, and struggling families being out there, and it's just hard because I'm the type of person like to help people, but when you're not even able to do that anymore, it's just okay. That's enough on that person.
Yeah, I got you. I understand where you're coming from because that's how I felt about the Great Recession. I was just graduating from college and entering the workforce, and everything just kind of shut down. And I was like, I did all of this hard work, and now I'm stuck So I can only imagine how you felt about COVID because that lasted a lot longer and it kind of hit harder. So I understand where you're coming from. What are some of the things that the previous generations may say about your generation that you either agree or disagree with?
Well, my grandparents raised me, and my grandfather always told me that hard work will get you places. And I agree, but I disagree because, yeah, it'll help you financially, but just like before when I answered, you know, it takes you away from the family and it's really not worth it.
Exactly.
So it's kind of.
Well, I think nowadays, the generation nowadays just want everything handed to them.
Most of them.
I don't think they work as hard as people like when we were growing up, or like when my parents were growing up.
Yeah.
They worked, like literally worked. They didn't care. Nowadays, they got people want stuff handed. They don't want it to be done this way.
Yeah.
My daughters, our oldest, I think, gets in home before 18, and she didn't even want to get a license. Wow. Made the put her through the thing, and she still hasn't got a license, but she wants to ride. There's just no.
They're lazy.
No drive.
I'm sorry.
Gotcha. There's no drive, you know, for this younger generation, and I think a lot of it's technology.
So let me tell you where I agree with you about what your grandfather said about if you put your head down and work hard, life will reward you. That's how I was raised. Like I said, I'm a generation right under you. But I think the issue that we have, or maybe not even the issue with the younger generation, is they seen you and I work hard and kind of get the short end of the stick, and they're kind of like, you know what?
I don't want to do it.
Exactly. So
no, it's I see that side of it too, you know, and it's just like, okay, and it's kind of hard being a parent because you want to make sure you teach them the right things.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I don't really feel like I am doing that because I'm out there being gone all week, and you know, and it's just like, yeah, okay, I pay the bills, but I'm an absent father.
Right.
You know, and I think the father figure is really important at home.
Tell us your name and your age.
My name's Owen Wolfrey. I'm 15.
All right, that makes you Gen Alpha, man. What are some of the things you hear about the previous generations that you think is kind of interesting about?
I think it's cool that there was like so much like electronics and like phones and stuff. There wasn't as many people like now we have the Apple Vision Pro and stuff. People walking around with like the goggles. I think it was cool when everyone was like outside and like less on social media and less security cameras and stuff like that. And nowadays it's like all the cars you see. I mean, they're starting to get electric. We have like the Cybertruck. It's just I like it a lot. I like it a lot I like it better back then.
Nice.
Sum it up.
And what do you think makes your generation unique from all the previous?
I don't know. I mean, it's cool that we have like the technology we do nowadays, like the Apple Vision Pro and stuff like that, and the self-driving cars that are electric. I think that is cool. But I mean, if I had to pick, I would want to live in like the 90s. I would say.
Nice.
I think the 90s would be the best time.
Man, 90s was fly.
And the music back then.
I was just about to say it's the best music.
I like the music. I mean, I like the music today, but back then I like the Eazy-E, Ice Cube, stuff like that.
Okay, I see you. I'm gonna let you go because I know your mom's calling you.
Yeah.
And what's your name?
Melody.
Melanie. Bala and Melanie. What generation do you fall under?
I am Generation Millennial.
Okay, awesome. And what about you, Lala?
Gen Z.
Gen Z. Okay, we got two different generations. So, my first question is, what was some of the major events that happened to you growing up that kind of shaped the way that you feel?
Major events, probably 9/11. Definitely. Probably the most one that affected us going forward. You don't know?
Oh, you just breathed through COVID, huh? She's like, COVID? That's lightweight,
know.
right? Like, I got this. No problem.
COVID affected you for school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How did it affect you?
Anyways, I became antisocial, and I kind of like fell off. I stopped getting motivated for school.
Did you get a chance to get a prom? Okay, so you did get that. I just talked to a group that didn't get one.
She came
That was a big
in
deal.
at the first year that they actually let up on COVID. It was her prom year.
Okay.
Last year. Yep.
Yeah, 9/11 affected me the most as well. I just entered college, so I thought I was going to be shipped off the war. You know, everybody
Right.
was scared.
Right.
Okay. What are some of the things that the older generation may say about our generation that you may disagree with or agree?
How we raise our children. I believe that we didn't take on all their morals and values and bring them into our families. I took on some of my mom's morals and values and some I've changed. one day and my kids are all grown, and they've never got a beating or anything in their life, and I think I chose to speak to them versus hit them.
Nice. And is it safe to say you don't have a criminal record, right?
No, I don't.
She turned off this line, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yep.
What are some of the things that we may say about your generation that you may disagree with?
That we move way too fast.
You disagree with that?
I think something we don't move too fast. Something probably is fast, but
What are some of the things they say about our generation?
One I've encountered recently is I believe that their generation believes that our generation, we don't take enough time to be grandparents. I'm a new grandma, so my grandson's 4 and I have another grandchild on the way, and they feel like I don't take enough time to watch my grandchildren, but I think they forget that we still work full-time jobs too, and I still have younger children too, so even though some of them are grown, I'm still financially supporting them. So between working and trying to live, it's not that we don't want to watch our grandchildren, it's just that we will on our time, and you guys made them. So we want to be grandparents, be supportive, but it has to be a balance.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's crazy is, that's what our generation says about the previous, that they don't watch our kids. And I kind of agree, because at the end of the day, remember, depending on what culture you're from, our grandparents kind of raised us. Like, we were always at our grandparents' house. And now that it's our turn, our parents is like, nah, I want my life.
So I think that's a catch-22, because while I think that we were at our grandparents' house, I wasn't. I have friends that were, but I believe even in their stories that some of them were there involuntarily. It's not that the grandparents wanted to watch them, it's that moms were dropping their kids off and leaving, and grandparents were doing the right thing. So I think some of it was forced and some of it was just grandparents doing it the old school way.
That's fair. That's fair. What do you think is the difference economically between now and back in the day? And I'll kind of frame this for you. The older generation, they always pride themselves of having their stuff together very early, and they're wondering why it's taking us, some time to get certain life achievements. What do you say about that?
Well, I say, being back in that generation when I was younger, my mom, I felt, did have it easy. Things were not as costly. Raising children was much easier. The resources were there. And financially, it kind of matched up with the economy. Right now, I feel like while I make decent money, I make almost $100,000 a year, I still do not, I still feel like I'm struggling. The prices and everything have increased. Times are different. Rent, I live in Boston, and rent is almost $3,000 a month. So I just think they had it easier because they weren't as tough.
Yeah.
And I think we're paying the cost for it, and they will pay the bigger cost.
That's an interesting perspective, because they would say that they had it tough, which they probably did in other areas. I mean, they were dealing with wars and things like that, big cultural shift. But we have it rough as well. I think every generation has their own unique experience, and that's the whole reason that I'm putting this together. What is one of the things that we can learn from the previous generation and that we can learn from their generation?
I think from the previous generation is trying to learn how to go about life without this new technology, without phones, without having to feel like they need to share everything, learning how to just stay in one's place. And from their generation, I feel the opposite. I feel like in this generation, I can learn from them that maybe I do need to record more and things like that, because it seems like based on their generation, they have it tougher, so we need to have evidence for everything we do. Everything needs receipts now, So it's a catch-22.
Catch-22.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Perfect. And what can we learn from the previous generation?
What can I learn from the previous generation? How to be a better woman, I guess. Cook more instead of taking out. Trying to find more time for them instead of brushing them off, because I'm trying to survive versus spend time with. Just trying to find a balance. I think they found balance and patience, and we just don't have the balance and the patience anymore trying to survive.
No, I get that. I definitely get that one. I get that on.
Yeah.
What do you think you can learn from this? kind of over us, huh? Y'all doing your own thing. It's all
I
good.
think they're doing their thing to a point. I think a good example of what you guys can learn from us is that this generation feels like social media is going to pave their way and it's going to keep them financially fit, forgetting that they watch us work every day, and even throughout the pandemic, I never stopped working, that you still have to move forward, and you still have to know, you have to have not just plan A, but plan A, B, C, and D. There always has to be a backup plan, because one thing is not going to get you through life. You have to learn how to multitask.
One thing you can learn from our generation, we do both. We're entrepreneurs and we have careers, we understand. And we didn't do this by design, it was just to survive. Like,
Absolutely.
Now we're dependent enough, so we got to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you guys' generation is going 100% at the entrepreneurship, which is, I'm seeing a lot, experiencing a lot of success stories, but on the other hand, like your mother said, it's a slippery slope. You know, it can go the other way. But
Yeah.
I love that. All right, I'm here with, what's your name?
Josh.
Yeah, Josh?
Josh.
Hey, what's your name?
Daddy.
Tabby? Oh, I love your name. So, how old are you guys?
21.
21?
29.
Okay, so you guys probably fall up under the Generation Z class. So, you guys are pretty much not the youngest, but the second to the youngest. So, I have some questions for you. First of all, what makes your group of people or generation of people so unique in comparison from the others?
I think this generation is a lot more emotionally aware. I feel like they have like a voice and they can speak up a lot more. And when you're emotionally aware, I think that brings people closer together. That's the difference between one generation and the other generation.
What made you guys more emotionally aware? What do you think kind of caused that?
I think the stigma around therapy being for crazy people kind of keep going away. As time goes by, I think we get myself.
Yeah.
My parents also started very open with us and really into like building close connections with each other. So I think just slowly over time, it's more accepted. We're starting to recognize their lives.
Yeah, you're right. Mental health is something that we don't run away from. It's something that we actually go and seek so we can be sane. Now, that's a good point. What about you?
I actually think Corona and like being in quarantine, a lot of the kids were forced to like be with themselves, and they were forced to like face themselves and be with their family if they didn't want to. So there was no really like running away. We all had to like be together, whether we liked it or not. So I think that really like brought people either together or like separated, you know. So like that was really a big like emotional awareness.
So, and that's interesting. You guys were teenagers during COVID, right? And so you guys really missed some valuable years. You guys get the opportunity to have a prom and things like that. Oh my goodness. So how did that affect you guys?
Honestly, I liked it. Like,
Really? I kind of liked it too.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Like,
Everything was like low key. Like you could see like one or two friends go to a park and shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You guys were able to roll with the punches.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you guys are very strong. We thought that would be devastating to you guys because my coming of age, prom was a big deal and things like that. But you guys rolled with the punches.
I think it is what you make of it too.
Okay.
You know, you have to like decide for yourself. Like you can go with the flow, but also like it's your decision whether how you want to deal with the situation. You know.
Absolutely.
So that's a big deal part of it.
Yeah.
Everybody dealt with it differently.
Yeah. So, your generation gets the good rap of taking charge and control of you guys' future. What do you think are some of the things that contribute to that made you guys so aggressive towards life and just independent?
Wait, I don't understand the question. Like, what made you like confident with wanting to share?
Yeah, so I give you a perfect example. Some of the other, I use my generation, the millennials. They say we take too long to mature, right? We were late bloomers as far as in coming out the household, but you guys are hitting the ground running. There's more entrepreneurs from you guys' generation. You guys are some more independent group of people. What do you think that contributes to?
I think probably the competition that social media brought. I think like when people see people doing things, they have to do it also.
Mm-hmm.
And also like I know that e-commerce is huge online, and everyone's pushing out e-commerce to do it. So people want to live this lifestyle that they're seeing. Your only option is to go out and get it. If you sit at home, you're not gonna get that lifestyle. So I think just seeing that around creates that healthy. It's also unhealthy competition, but a lot of healthy competition too. That the social media has.
I agree. I totally agree. What about you?
I don't know. Maybe just learning from other people's mistakes. I guess. I don't know.
All right. So now I'm going to allow for myself and my generation to be the butt of a joke. So what are some of the crazy things that you hear about the millennial generation that you guys think is funny or is,
don't know, it's usually them making fun of us, calling us a bunch of softies. So
Really?
I only hear good things about your guys' generation, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you some of the things they say about us. They say that we're spoiled. They say that
We're spoiled.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
See, that's why I'm doing this experiment, okay?
Oh my God.
No, see, we think you guys are very independent, and we like that about your group. But they say that our group is spoiled, like they call us the participation trophy generation. But we're actually a driven group of people. You know,
That's
we're
what I
the
was under the impression of.
yeah, like we're the generation that has a job and a dream. You know, we're highly motivated,
Yeah.
and we feel that you guys saw what we had to go through. And you guys just took it and just ran with it. Some of the other things that they say, we are very in tune and conscious about, you know, the environment. You know, that was our group, making sure this earth is clean for your generation and your kids' generation. But you know, there's some pros and some cons. All right, my last question before I let you go: what is some great advice? Well, I got two questions. I'm sorry. What is the number one thing that you can learn from the previous generations that you can apply, and also, what do you think is something that the previous generations can learn from your group?
I'd say probably that whole emotional awareness part. I think the older generation definitely, you know, if they haven't already, it's become more emotionally aware. It's not too late to change things in your life. You know, you're 6 years old, still actively work on yourself. I think for sure. So the way that we're all doing that now and finding ourselves, I think that definitely the older generation should do that too. That's what they can learn from us. And I think the thing from that is to be a little bit more tough. Like, it's okay to like speak your voice if needed, but you know, go out and get there. Like, I think they're saying like this generation is gonna have the hardest time like buying a house.
Ours.
That's yours or ours?
It might be both. You guys, it looks like you.
I thought it was you.
I thought it was ours.
They're saying it's yours, so they're
That's
saying
what
it's ours
I
too.
heard. No, I heard that because like we're so lazy on our social media and stuff. Like we're not getting houses. That's what I heard.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. We're back. Wasn't that fun? A little bit. Like I said, my apologies on the audio. Like I said, we're some amateurs. We're gonna get it right on the next video. But work with us. So, what do you think? What did you guys get from that? I mean, I got the opportunity to interview, I believe, 4 groups altogether. It was about 5 or 6 different individuals. They all represented all the different age categories. I wish I had a boomer in there and someone from the silent generation. That was a little hard to do. However, what I got from that was rather interesting. One of the things that I was able to identify with was, one, every generation goes through their, I guess you can say, their thing of struggle, if that's what you want to call it. Another thing is, hey man, this media is tricky, man. This media have you believing that everybody is out here messed up, man. Like when the young man said that he thought that we were the ones that were telling them that they were spoiled. And I was like, no, it was our generation. So it's like everybody was pointing the finger at everyone. And as I was doing more research in history, it showed how the older generation always pointed the finger at the younger generation. And I was like, wasn't it the older generation's goal to make the world better for the next generation? And when the world became better for the next generation, they complained about it. I'm like, this shit is weird. But it was nice to see that everyone is aware of their current circumstances, as well as they are well aware of other generations' current circumstances. And we try to give some form of, I would say, patience and humility. I think that will help us as a collective move together. Another thing is, like I said, we're all in this thing together, and we're all going to experience different things at different stages and different times in our lives. That doesn't mean just because it's different that one generation is better, had it worse, had it better. It's just all different things happening at different times. And the number one thing that I took away from it is, if you are aware of what's going on, you can use these as tools to learn and better yourselves. All in all, as I close out, it's amazing being a millennial. It really is. But I guarantee if I were to get someone from Gen Z or Gen X, they would say the exact same thing. And what I will do moving forward is take all the tools that I find valuable from each generation and apply it to my life. I'll learn how to be patient and go and stick through hard times like people from the silent generation. I'll learn how to be even more tech savvy and use that as a tool for, for more independence or to reassure my future outcome like the Gen Zers. Um, I will learn to be more independent and more risk taking like the Gen Xers. Uh, I will learn how to be. I'm trying to find something positive to say about you boomers. I swear, I love you boomers. I don't have an issue with you guys, but I'm trying to find something valuable to say about you. Don't shoot me. I'll circle back. I'll circle back. Um, but yeah, that was fun. I hope I was able to add some value. This was just like a fun thing. The next one that I'm going to do, I got something in store for you on that one. The next one's going to be fun. But that's my time. Thank you for spending your valuable 20 to 30 minutes with me doing this exercise. If this was something that you found valuable, just share it. Share it with others. Create dialogue. Blow up the inbox or the message, however y'all want to do this. I would love to go back and forth. There's probably some things that I missed. There's probably some things that I hit right on the nail. I would love to go to engage in dialogue with you guys. But there, that's it. Let's continue to bring this thing together. In the meantime, stay in the present, stay positive, stay productive, but most importantly, know thyself, brand thyself. This is me, J-Bo. Gone.